Well, I didn't think I would make a response, mainly for Abandonment of the Sacred Beasts, because this is the end of the season. The anime season is ending. All the current anime that are limited to one season are ending themselves, and yeah, I'm making this more or less in a response. If I can just show you, I was actually watching this when this was going on. Um, Brandon review because what's really happened is like if I can explain really fast, Fire Force, Doctor Stone, Demon Slayer, and Fruits Basket are the four most trendy anime of this season. People are going nuts over these friggin' anime. Fruits Basket, it doesn't really deserve the hype, and yet it does because it's just the remake of the original, which I'd already watched. So I'm along for the ride. It's got the nostalgia with new things here and there thrown in, so I'm alright with that. Fire Force is 50-50. The fan service side of it can get really ridiculous and damage certain characters, but it's well animated, reminds me of Soul Eater. Demon Slayer, while everyone's overhyping the recent episodes, I'm just staring at it like the recent episodes for me were the most damaging. The Hashiras were the most generic stereotype. Like I said this at one point, three of the Hashiras, the Wind, Fire, and Love One, are basically the three top students in My Hero Academia that you meet at the end of season 3. That it's so fucking the same. It's borderline stupid, and how and the whole thing with him, the main character realizing, oh, my dad did this dance, and I'm 1 second away from death, and my flashback is remembering my dad do this dance, and this breathing, this technique that I've never mentioned to anybody, despite the fact that I've done breathing training. I never brought it up with my teacher. So you know what? 1 second away from death, I'm going to implement dancing and breathing into my ability that's water based and just hope that I pull something out of my ass. And also hope that my sister, that's never displayed or trained her ability at any point, just activates and uses ability perfectly to save my ass. It's like Demon Slayer is a coincidental ass pull, and I wasn't happy with that. Like I had a lot of hopes for this friggin' anime, and it's like where other people are like overhyping it, I'm just like it's starting to eat away at itself. It's starting to become very generic. And Doctor Stone, I kind of dropped. I'm like the science part of it is cool. Don't get me wrong, I like that, but it got boring. It just did, and I was one of the ones that would have sided with Subasa or something. I'm just like, we don't need science in the friggin' world. Maybe like the whole reason everyone got petrified was probably science. I can't say that for sure. I'm not a manga reader, but I'm guessing it was something scientific. And I'm just like, I don't have a good love for humans even in reality. Like I think individual humans can do amazing things and can be very nice people, but humanity as a whole, we're just a freaking plague. So Doctor Stone happens, and I'm just like, hey, even if it is nature, if it's not science, if it's nature that petrified them, I'm just like, fuck the humans. And then you got Mr. Senku, I'm gonna restore the world to the science, and I'm just like, you realize that's everything wrong with the world. Anyway, sum up of those four. Two shows really got no love this season. One of them being a certain scientific accelerator, which I think is having its final episode coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. We're gonna finally see accelerator go up against this level 6 Toru. Oh no, what is? He ended up being. I'm not gonna spoil that. You go watch that if you want to. He ended up being something from the freaking past, and I'm curious where that's gonna go. But yeah, Abandonment of the Sacred Beast is the other one that really got no love, except from really A.H. Brandon, which is why I'm a big fan of him, because he'll do reviews just on stuff that, like, yeah, you watch 1 or 2 episodes, I got into it, I'll do reviews on it. It's like, you enjoy it. It's like, you don't need to make content just because it's the next trendy thing. You're doing it because you're enjoying the friggin' series. I actually do wish A.H. Brandon would do a certain scientific accelerator. I hope he does a review for the whole season. He can't go back and do individual episodes, but if he does a review of the whole season, I'm really hoping to hear if he does that. That would make me really happy if he did that. But with this, I was just like watching his review, and I was like, I agree and disagree. And this isn't me hating on him. It's like when I tend to disagree with people mostly on things, I'm willing to debate them, because even though I disagree with some of the things he says, it's like the way he describes his point of view, I can understand his point of view. So I can see where he's coming from. I just think from my perspective, as I just finished watching it before I saw the review, I think they kind of did the same, because a few things that happened in the finale, where AH mentions that there's a fight between werewolf vampire, and there's this moment where she like hugs him, and that's where he remembers his humanity. I get that. That wasn't something that occurred to me till I'd finished watching the episode. That it was this big turning point. And I'm glad that he pointed that out. I was just like, at the same time, while I was watching the episode, I was going, where's this ass pull power coming from? Or is this supposed... Because I was going through it, it's like, is this an ass pull thing? Because it came across as, I one-hit punch him. And the moment Kane went down, I was like, I was really pissed watching it the first time. I'm like, really? That's it? And that's what made me think this is an anime-only ending. As I was watching it, I was like, are they really going to go for an anime original ending where he just gets this unique friggin' power-up and one-hit punches the person? And I'm like, I'm having Soul Eater vibes here. I'm like, really? We're going to pull this generic, terrible bullshit? Like, Soul Eater was an amazing anime. It's just the ending is so garbage. And I thought, are they really going to make that same mistake with this show? And thank God Kane got back up, because I will say this for this show, Kane, I don't see him as a villain. I see him as an antagonist, because every time this man opens his mouth, you understand where he's coming from. They have been wronged, and in a human society in general, especially like when we look at our history, we tend to worship or be inspired by people who do great things. Like, take this for instance. If you take the China and the Mongol instance, you have heroes on both sides. But for some reason, if you're looking back at history, people tend to view the Chinese as the heroes and the Mongols as the villains. Mainly for the fact that the Mongols were invading. But at the time, Genghis Khan would have been the hero of the Mongols. If you looked at it from the Mongolian point of view, he's the friggin' hero. He's not doing anything wrong, because that's how human history is. For every hero is like, Joan of Arc is seen as a hero in history, but at the same time, to her enemies, she would have been seen as a villain. And I'm like, that's the type of vibe that I get with Kane in this, is like, there is a sense of madness to him. Like, he does have issues, but I'm like, what he's doing is not really wrong. And you can't... This whole God complex thing, yeah, you shouldn't play God when it goes to your head, but it's like, we tend to worship people who have strong power in the past. If you're really strong, you're a hero, you're this, so I'm just like... And during the war, they were the friggin' heroes, and then, oh, we got to kill you because you're becoming beast. And I'm like, it kind of makes Hank a hypocrite with his new power, because if there is potential for to ignore the beast side, embrace your humanity, and gain this new power or evolved form, it's like Nancy's father. I'm honestly surprised he did not gain this type of power, because he's more similar to Hank. If anything, he's a better man than Hank. So seeing him lose to the Beast is kind of pathetic. I think that's where the show starts to have faults in it. If Hank can develop, this power, and this is something that reverts to the future of the manga. I'm gonna wait a bit to see if they announce a season 2. I'm hoping they do. And whereas I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now. Whereas Brandon said that he's like satisfied with the ending, I'm just like, I think I was 50-50 on it when they were describing what's happening. Oh, Kane and his group have taken the West and the South. I was like, yeah, this is 50-50. It's a bit of a cock tease, but for a future season. But at the same time, it's like a summary. But then when they turned around and they're like, oh, he's got the chick alive in the test tube, and a million different questions go through your head. It's like, is she still human? There's hints at a vampiric zombie rising shit that's going on right now. Is she like a zombie? Or has he infused her with the beast's DNA to transform her into a beast? It's like, he's done something to her to keep her alive. I doubt it's just limited to medical type shit. I think he has done something to her. And it was that part that like really tipped the 50-50 scales up to the point where I'm just like, if they didn't show the test tube scene, I reckon they could have just ended the anime and just been like, well, you're not getting a season 2, we're sorry, and it's alright. But that just kind of like shoved down your throat, like, the whole aspect that AH said about go read the manga. And with certain shows, I will read the manga to get ahead of it. With other ones, I don't. Like My Hero Academia, I don't. The Promised Neverland, I refuse to read that manga because it's like it's got a horror suspense vibe to it. So when I'm watching that, I actually don't want to know what's coming, so that I enjoy the show more. If you know what's coming, and that's why I don't want to know Attack on Titan either. Attack on Titan, I just want to be amazed as I watch it. There's certain shows that I don't think you can watch the manga for. This one, because it's so early on, you can go either way. But yeah, I reckon this was overall a terrific show with very small faults here and there. But it's sad because does it deserve a season 2? Yes. I think this is done better than some of the, like, if I put Abandonment of the Sacred Beast, I reckon it's better than Dr. Stone. I reckon better than Fire Force. Yeah. Fire Force only picked up in like the last 2 episodes. But look at it. Nancy's a better female character than who is it? There's a chick in Fire Force. Is it Tamaki, the girl who has like a red Nico? They've ruined that character. She's just a fucking fan service character. I don't take her as like a strong like female type character. She's just friggin' fan service. So I'm just like, and Fruits Basket I won't include in this list because it's remastered. But I'm just like, this show deserved a lot better and a lot more viewers, and it didn't get it. And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my review. If anyone sees it, go watch this show. Enjoy it. It's fantastic. The character development is great. The world building is excellent. It's got lots of potential for where it goes. It just didn't get it. And if by chance Brandon sees this, I would really like to know your views on this. I made this review basically based off your review. You inspired me as to, like, just rather than give you a comment in your YouTube video or tag you on Twitter, I was just like, it would be better to actually try and explain why I think they did cock tease, like, the whole thing. It's not a good ending. Like, it's a good ending, but it's like it's forcing itself onto a season 2. I didn't like Hank's new ability because it seemed like it was an anime only thing. In the manga, if he does have that form later on, if that's something he uses constantly, then by all means, this was a good moment for it to appear. But if he doesn't, if he just uses his normal wolf forms in the future, then I think it's freaking epic garbage, and they should get rid of it. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. 15 minutes is good, and that's my views on Abandonment of Sacred Beast.